Hello.
Happy what Wednesday. I was like, wait, what day is it? Thank you guys for being here. So excited. This stream is going to be so fun. It's another episode of the Weekday Edit, and Arabella is going to be re-editing some old images and just kind of showing how she would update them with our current style and using Lightroom and Photoshop to really bring them to life. So thank you for joining us. Please feel free to say hello in the chat. Let us know where you guys are watching from and ask questions as we go along. We have some people joining us already. We have Jack and Clever, Alejandro, Peter. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to try to go back and forth between YouTube and Behance so that we can get all of the comments. And I don't miss anyone. Joshua's here.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like I said, please feel free to ask questions and, give your input, your ideas as we go along, and we'll spend the next hour having some fun in Photoshop together.
Awesome. And then we are here with Ellie. Ellie is back. You didn't even mention your
I'm
name.
back. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Ellie. I'm out of practice.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I am back. I am back. Well, last episode that we did was a couple weeks ago. I was moving my grandma into a house with her sister. So
Yeah, so
I was
fun.
not able to be here, but I'm happy to be back and it's going to be so fun. Happy to hang out with you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
awesome. Well, yeah,
Joshua's
go ahead.
watching from San Francisco and we are in San
Ooh,
Jose. So right down the road from you. And Jack
awesome.
is in Chicago. And Peter's also in Chicago. So
I
fun.
love it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Well, yeah, we're really excited to get started. So why don't we just get right to it?
Let's do
We
it.
are retouching and re-editing really a lifestyle brand campaign that we did in what, 2020? That feels
I
so
think
long ago
so.
now, which
Yeah.
is insane. So we got to work with Camelback, which was really, really cool. So we ended up doing and lifestyles, like, obviously, if you guys have seen some of our work, we're very like product focused in terms of like, doing setups in a studio, in a traditional studio, and, building sets and super colorful, just to go to our work really quickly just to show you guys. So this is kind of like what we normally do. So when we get to do kind of lifestyle stuff, it's like always really fun because we usually get to go on location and we get to work with models, which is always really fun. And I always love to kind of see how it all comes together with the clothing and then I don't know, when you're working with models, everything just gets more spontaneous and you kind of just get inspired by them, just kind of being themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so this was a shoot in 2020, like I mentioned, and it was so fun. I mean,
This
so
was
we
a real family too, which was
real
so
family,
cute. They're
so
actually all
precious.
family and it was adorable.
Yeah, it was the best. And we ended up going to, I always say Gurneyville, but I think it's Guerneville.
It's Guerneville.
Gurneyville, in Guerneville, California. And they have this really cool thing called an auto camp. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's kind of like a bunch of Airstreams and it's like a little campsite and it's just like super cool and super fun. So we ended up getting to shoot on there. And yeah, it was a ton of fun. And I mean, honestly, these photos are still really beautiful to me. Like, I really do love them, but there's other things I like. This was one of those shoots where we ended up coming in to shoot, and we actually didn't even end up editing them
Yeah.
ourselves. So I kind of just on a whim edited these like very quickly just to throw them up because they were finally out in the world. But the client actually took care of editing all of their own work, which was like, something. I mean, honestly, it was kind of nice to be able to
Yeah.
like hand it off and be like, all right, I'm done.
They had an
Um,
internal retoucher, so they just
exactly.
took the images and
Yeah.
ran with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, these are the images. So these are going to be the ones that we're going to be re-editing and just kind of like spicing them up, kind of adding a little bit more of what, I don't know, it's been 4 years. I'm sure our process has changed as far as editing. And honestly, like, they're beautiful photos, but I feel like we can do more to them. So plus we've got generative fill to like do stuff with,
Yes.
you
Ooh, we
know?
could play around with that too and just add some more fun
Exactly.
things
Oh
to
my
the
God, can you
images.
imagine? Jesus. Okay. Let's
Yes.
get to it. So I'm in Lightroom Classic right now, and I have a few of those raw photos, and like I'm just gonna go through them so you can see just how crazy, like the difference in the colors and
It's
everything. I mean,
so crazy.
there is a big difference in like the pre, and the edited. Like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I
It's
remember
so
the lighting
yellow.
was crazy in
It's
this
so
little like
yellow.
thing. I
It
was
was a
like,
little
oh,
tense. Yeah. So they have these cool little tents and then they have Airstreams and you can camp in them. So we did some images in the Airstreams, some in the tents, and then some just out camping. And we did actually shoot some mountain bikers for this
yeah, we
series too.
did.
That morning we went and shot mountain bikers on a mountain, which was
Oh
really
my
fun.
gosh, yeah, for sure. So anyway, let's just kind of get right into it. So I'm always, in Lightroom Classic kind of doing the basics. And I do want to preface that I'm going to be using some presets today. And so I did find the actual person who made the presets, the ones that I'm probably going to be playing around with. So amazing. I'll pull up their website shortly when I get to that. But I'm all about making things easy, especially for
Mhm.
lifestyle like imagery where like I don't know, I could make my own presets or I could like do my own edits, but like to me, I just want to get to like finishing the product.
Yes.
And if someone else is already doing it so much more better, so much better than I am, like
Yes.
I am all about supporting. And so I have like a plethora of just like all the presets that I have purchased and used for my own personal portrait work. But then also it's great for moments like this when I'm doing lifestyle kind of imagery. So anyway, let's get into it. This image is pretty cool. So I actually like to start off with auto sometimes in certain cases where like it just kind of knows. I feel like it's gotten a better over the years where it kind of knows how to adjust the white balance. But otherwise, you can also kind of do that same trick and have some sort of like gray card or gray like thing that you can put in your images to kind of adjust the colors. But I'm gonna go ahead and just fix that. So a little bit warmer. Maybe I'll go up to like 5,800 or something. Somewhere around there. And then I don't want it to be too like, on the magenta side. So I'm gonna bring that back down. I kind of like the greens in there.
Yeah, we want
Um,
the that green forest
Yeah, to like
for us to
really,
really come through.
really come through. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And there's a lot going on here. Like you can tell that like we're losing some of the detail here in the forest
Yeah.
too. I usually like to take a look at my histogram as well, and you can tell like, you can click on over to these little like triangles and just see what's getting lost as far as
Yeah.
detail. So this is a great way to kind of like guide how you edit. So I can always just bring that down and you can already tell that that fixed it. So whenever it's turned to like that gray color, that means it's like you're good. Like,
That's so
and then as
awesome.
far as the left side, that's kind of like our darks. So I can always just bring up the blacks and we can get some detail there. But sometimes I like the contrast. If you can do whatever you want with your photos. So here's just kind of a starter start as far as like, settings go. And I kind of always come down to our lens corrections as well. Now, this one here, I'm pretty sure I shot these images with my Sigma lens 35. Oh yeah, right there. So it immediately got the lens profile there. So we've got the Sigma. And I don't know what it is about my Sigma. Like it's a beautiful lens. I love it every time I use it. But every time I like in comparison to my Canon, no shade
Yeah.
on Sigma. um, in comparison, I always get some fringing. And this is where like I
Mm,
do have to go into the manual section and defringe. So we
yeah.
can tell that there's some like purple fringe right there on the like at
Yeah.
the edges of their pants. It usually
Yeah, I
comes
see it.
across better like or it shows up more when there's white behind.
Yeah.
So I always have to kind of adjust that. And there we go, like a quick little fix there. Maybe even like an 8. It's kind of extreme there. And I always like to just in case turn up the green as well, as far as defringing. And that kind of just helps remove some of that fringe. But yeah, I don't know what it is about my Sigma. I don't know. Maybe I should like call them up and be like, hey, fix this.
Or how old is the lens? Has it always done that?
It has always done that.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe it's getting old, but
I mean, I don't know. I've taken
yeah.
good care of my lenses, I think, at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, for
But
sure.
I guess who knows? I mean, I got these lenses so long ago too. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did some really stupid things with my lenses at some at some point in time.
Back in your
But
younger
back
days.
in the days.
Clever says, is it chromatic aberration?
Yeah, so yes, exactly. Chromatic aberration, but even when I checked that off, that didn't like do as much as I would like. So that's why sometimes you
Yeah.
have to go into the manual to fix that, right? So sometimes you can get away with just clicking that little top part, but other times you have to like go into the manual. So
Yeah. Peter says Canon and Nikon have the best glass. Yeah,
honestly, I
I
mean,
know.
I'm sorry, like, but I do love the Sigma. Like, I love that they're 35. I don't know, there's like something about the quality in a different way aside from the fringing that's like really beautiful. So I don't know. I mean,
Yes.
I got it,
Yes. I
you
feel like we
know?
use it a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Clever also Clever is watching from San Antonio, Texas, and
Oh,
Alejandro is watching from Mexico.
very cool.
So
Thank you
fun.
so much. I love that. Okay, so what I usually do is I usually copy the settings and make sure that I have transform, crop, healing, masking, kind of like the thing. And I hit copy, and now I'm not going to do it for the rest of the images because there's so many different scenarios here that it doesn't make sense to
Yes.
just apply them to everything.
Yes.
But I am going to do it to like this one, for
The ones
example.
that are the same setting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here we
Ugh,
go.
I
Like,
love that
wow.
picture.
I know. I
That
love this
looks
photo
so much
too.
better. It's crazy. Oh, and I
So
love this
much better.
one.
Oh,
You
I
are
love
so
this one.
cute.
This one feels a little dark, so I can always like increase the brightness there in a little bit. I know she's so cute. They were just so cute. Like
They were the
all of them.
cutest
All of
family.
them. I know. Okay. So now the other thing that I'm going to do again, I'm a big preset person. I love supporting other artists and other creatives
Yes,
that make
yeah.
beautiful presets. So I've been like using these so much lately. They're called PS Editorial and PS Presets Exclusive. So let me pull up their site. So it's by this person called Phil Chester. And you guys, like, look at how
Oh my gosh, I love that.
beautiful presets. Like, this must be a new one. And now I like immediately want to buy it. But like, see, they have like an
Oh
essential pack.
yeah.
They have the editorial pack. Like, they've just got like all different for different scenarios. And they work really well for like lifestyle. Well, actually for all kinds of things. So, I mean, that you will find pretty much like everything that you need in a collection like this. But like, look how gorgeous. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, I
Like,
love that
oh,
image. That's beautiful.
I know. So anyway, this is where I got them from so that you guys can check it out if you're interested. But I've been like using them like so often. So I'm just gonna kind of go down what I like to do with presets. Like I like to try ever since Lightroom Classic and Lightroom did this thing where like you hover over the preset name and it applies it so you can see it is like
Yes.
the
That
best
is
thing ever.
amazing. Because having to click into each one, so annoying.
Yeah, exactly. So look how gorgeous like some of these just like like they really just bring out so much. And one thing to note too, I guess it really depends on the presets that you get or the ones that you have that you're applying. Some of them might mess with your settings that you just did. So like
Yeah.
especially kind of in this kind of basic adjustment panel. So just keep an eye out for that. You know, obviously you can tell that they like reset my highlights. So I'm gonna have to like go back in. And that's kind of what
Right.
I say about presets. It's that yes, like it can be a one click kind of thing if you want it to be, but more often than not, you're gonna have to make extra tweaks because images are so different, all of them can be so
Yes.
different. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, I,
Yeah, even in the
yeah,
same setting, the lighting might have changed, or it just might be like
exactly.
darker or brighter when you move to a different area of the forest or whatever. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
Okay, what are we liking? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of into this like warmer one right here.
I like the warmer.
I kind of like the warmer. I think because like I'm thinking of like what else is in our portfolio, and a lot of the stuff that we
Yeah.
do is warmer. Like even some of the stuff that we shot for like Authentic Ego has like
Yes.
um that warm tone. Like this kind of still feels like cool, whereas like this kind
Hmm.
of has like that look that's all warm. And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe that's like our vibe and we're kind of just, I don't know, we're California girls. Like,
Let's embrace it. Let's embrace that
let's go for it.
the warm sunshine.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this one in particular, that highlight mod. It looks so gorgeous. Let me see if there's another one that's kind of like a warm. No, honestly, I think that's it. Like this looks
I like that one.
nice. I like it too.
Yeah, Peter says my eye goes right to the background. Yeah, I feel like it does because there is so much going on there, which I feel like cropping it down will help with
Yes.
that.
Yes,
So we'll
exactly.
get to that because
We'll
yeah,
get
right
to
now
it.
it's like kind of a busy image, you
It
know?
is kind of a busy image. So that's also part of the reason why we're gonna like go into Photoshop and do some extra
Yes.
stuff too, if we want. Or we could just, it's a simple like crop situation, so we can kind of play around with different things.
Yeah.
But so let's go ahead and like bring down those highlights just to get some of that detail back. And maybe I'll just bring down the whites as well. So just like little tweaks here and there. And then I do kind of want to bring up the vibrance a little bit just to get some of the, oop, did not mean to do that. Okay, there we go. Cool. Just to get some of those colors in, maybe like a 3 plus saturation. So the other thing too about editing these images, when you're doing like preset stuff, like normally I like applying effects and everything kind of at the very end, but when you're working with lifestyle, it's actually like I kind of have to work differently. Like you kind of have to apply
Yeah.
your colors and everything first, and then kind of go into like additional retouching, if that makes sense. This
Yeah,
is
for
just what works
sure.
for me. I'm maybe for other people it's different. But I kind of like applying colors and the style and everything first, just because when you're processing your raw image, like you want to have the most detail,
Hmm.
to work with, and
Hmm.
then you can kind of make additional like, retouching like later in Photoshop. But cool, I'm like into this. I love it. And again, we can always go and apply like grain later, all of that, but for now I feel like this feels good. I think they already applied a little bit of grain as well, but we can always push it too. Okay, so let's go ahead and develop and copy those settings again. So now that we have like our colors in place, I can play around with adding that and like, oh, look at that. That was so pretty.
Amazing.
Amazing. This one feels like a little bright, so I'm just gonna bring down the exposure as well, just to kind of like add a little bit of that contrast.
Yeah, Peter says it's a
Beautiful.
process, and it is. It's totally a process, and it's going to be a little different depending on every image and every shoot is going to be, slightly different. So,
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna bring that back. Yeah, so what I'm doing is you like kind of applying those settings and then making those tweaks to kind of get it to where I want it to be. So I'm gonna bring up that contrast. Wow, that's so pretty. Oh my gosh. What a difference from like the other one. What are we? The
the
original kind of
original one that
edit.
you edited, yeah,
Yeah. Like look
which
at that.
was honestly was great. I
It's
think
great.
it's beautiful, but
But like
I
wow, like the
love
warmth,
this.
you could feel
Yes.
like it's like okay, it's California.
Yeah,
Which like,
yes.
there's like the cool tones too and like all of that. Like it's really beautiful, but there's
Yes.
something about the warmth that I love. Okay. Great. So that's looking good. And then let's keep on go moving on. Place that. Definitely need to up the contrast or the exposure and bring back some of the highlights. I kind of do want them to like peak a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then bring the whole thing up. Wow. I mean, look at her skin. It's like glowing.
I know. It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Also, the other thing too that I'm like noticing about these images, I mean, they didn't ask for it, or I don't
Yeah.
know, who knows the way, maybe like they personally retouched their own because they retouched their own images,
Yeah.
the images. Like some of the images, like we still have branding
Uh-huh.
from other
I'm sure they took
brands.
them off. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
they
think
took
they
it off.
did.
But yeah, I know some of the clothing has other brands on
Yeah,
it.
like
So
I looked and I was like, oh, we have Patagonia, like right then and
yeah,
there, like,
yeah.
you know. So I kind of
Yeah,
was like,
something to
oh,
keep
that's
in
something.
mind if you're
Yeah.
ever working with brands is you gotta either like remove all the branding for other brands before you shoot, or you gotta do it in post. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they're not
Yeah,
gonna want to be promoting anyone else.
definitely. Cool. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Wow, that's
Even like
beautiful.
are those Van
Hmm.
like I think her shoes say
Oh
Vans,
yeah,
right?
the Vans. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, definitely gonna up the contrast of this one. Or up the exposure. I keep wanting to say contrast. I mean exposure, you guys. Okay, I was like literally today years old. Well, technically yesterday. Yesterday. I was yesterday years old when I found out that there's now a new like retouching like healing button
Oh,
in Lightroom Classic. Unless I'm just like because I edit so much in Photoshop these days that I don't like,
yeah.
For this kind of work, I actually do typically stay within Lightroom, or even for my own portrait work. I don't really like, unless there's something that I need to remove,
Yeah,
that's
you
like
stay in
very,
Lightroom.
I stay in Lightroom. Yeah, because it's just like, why would I go away? I love Lightroom.
Yeah.
But there's this new thing, like for example, like, okay, this branch is like in my face right here, and I kind of want to remove it, right? So let's go ahead and go to our healing. So now there's a content aware remove in Lightroom Classic.
Wow.
You guys, this is like such a big deal, and I started playing around with it, and it's actually really, really good. So
That's
if I click on
awesome.
it, and the cool thing is too, for example, so if I wanted to do like, this is just like the healing tool. So, I'm using my little bracket keys to kind of go up in size and down. But if I just like go ahead and select that entire thing, right? That actually does a pretty good job. But I can move through the other options,
Oh, and
and then it
see.
would just kind of, and see what happens.
That's
But
cool.
here, let me go ahead and go back as well. Okay. So if I start with that content aware, it's kind of like, doing the same thing where it's just like taking its surroundings and
Yeah.
analyzing and being like, okay, let's fix that. And there you go. Now you've got a really, never there. No stick.
No one's gonna
Site.
know.
No one's gonna know. So I'm curious actually, like maybe if I do like over the bands, like maybe I don't even need to go into Photoshop.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. I don't know. I'm a little scared though. Let's see. Oh, that looks weird.
Not as
Not
polished.
as not as polished, but that's okay. It works for like things that are a little bit less,
Yes, for minor
for
removals.
minor things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that's okay. That's why we have Photoshop, and that's why we can go back and forth.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. This looks good. I'm happy with that. Okay, let's keep it moving. So again, this was such a yellow, oh my gosh, like the most yellow room. Okay, wow, that's way more like it.
Yeah, that's
And
a lot
then
better.
I know. So let me go ahead and just copy those settings for now, and then paste them on this next image. Oh
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
crazy. Okay, so
So
let's
much
go
better.
ahead. So much better, but it's still so cool. Like I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. It's
let's
not right, but it's better than what it was.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm kind of applying the same settings as before, going into lens correction, and fixing that defringe, because I'm pretty sure we're still shooting, yeah, with the 35. So let's go ahead and um bring down the exposure a little bit. It feels a little hot. Actually, maybe the highlights really is what we need to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I can see from here like that little white triangle there. Okay, that feels good. Maybe actually no. Okay. A little shadow increase there. Okay. That feels much better. Okay, now it's way too cool, so I'm just gonna manually kind of go over to the right, and that already feels like so much better. Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like from, see it like, okay, it looks like super yellow and weird there, but this feels
Yeah.
a lot more like balanced.
It looks like a
Um,
weird artificial light, like a weird light
yeah.
bulb, and then that looks more like it's actually
Exactly.
like
But
just
the other
daylight.
thing too is I'm noticing as well, because I know for a fact that like, these models have like much more of a warm tone skin
Yeah.
too. So what I
Yeah.
can always do, and this is something that I've been playing around with a lot, is I'll just like go ahead and do like a mask. So I'll do like an object, and I'll kind of just like go around to their faces, and then it'll be like, oh, okay, you want this selected. Perfect. And then maybe I want to add to it because kind of their skin tone's pretty much very similar.
Yeah.
Because that's something you always want to keep in mind, right? You don't want to like, especially for like a lot of like black and brown like
Yes.
models, you want to make sure that their skin tone is true to color.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
so let's go ahead and just include hers as well. Oh my gosh, her smile and her little laugh was so cute. Okay, perfect. And so then what you can do is
Would
then go
you want to
down.
select their hands too, or does it not?
I think like because I'm only just doing a little bit,
Okay, it'll be
but
fine.
I think it'll be okay. But I mean that's a good point. I could probably also do that as well. So I can always just do like another little plus and
Mhm.
add their little hands. This is always like really nice, this little like option to like continue
Yes.
to add. And it's like the object
It's
detective
so good.
option detection is so, so good. Okay, there we go.
Her little toe.
I know our little toe. There we go. Awesome. Perfect. Oh, I don't know why I didn't like include that little finger.
Yeah, RD was asking why it's red. That's just like the color of masking in Lightroom and Photoshop. It's just showing you where the mask is. It's going to be red, but it won't be
Yeah.
red once
Yeah,
everything
it
is
won't be red,
applied.
but it's just showing you what's being selected.
Yeah, just so you can see where your actual mask is.
Yeah. And so then I can go into point
So that would be for
color.
any mask that you do is going to look
Hmm.
like that.
So now we go into point color, and now we have their skin tone right then and there. And what we can do is kind of play around with like the skin tone, right? So like we don't want too yellow. We want it to be a little bit more on the red side probably. And then maybe like saturation. Let me see. There we go. And I kind of actually want it to be, let me see. No, no, that's too much.
Yeah, you want it to look natural, not anything crazy.
Yeah, that feels good right there.
Yeah.
Much better. Okay, cool. So there's the simple things like that that you can kind of do to like fix skin tones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other way that you can fix skin tones as well, if you just want to go into your color mixer, you can always play around with kind of like the red, orange, and
Hmm.
sometimes yellow sliders in the hue and saturation and luminance to kind of like get the right, skin
Yeah.
tone there. But
Yeah.
so many options. You can kind of get to it from different points, but okay, cool. So I think that looks good. Let me go ahead and um how do I want to get back to this? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So then I'm gonna just keep, let's see. Yeah, I think I still like that. That's good. Okay. And then actually I'm gonna bring down that mask again. Let me go into it. Now that I'm looking at it, it feels a little too warm, a little too red. So sometimes you kind of have to
Bring
like
it back down.
bring it back down. And on top of that too, I want to actually see what happens when I apply the preset that we are applying
Yes,
to
because
the
that
rest of
could
the image, because that
definitely
could
change
actually
it.
change. Yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
let's go ahead and do that first. And see how it goes. Okay. So I think we had was it this one? I think the highlight
I
mod,
think
right? So like
so.
you can
Yeah.
tell that like, oh my gosh, now that's like too much.
Now it's gonna be a lot.
Now it's
Yeah.
gonna be like too much.
But the
But
rest of it looks really
the
good.
rest of it
We
looks
could just
really good.
adjust their skin again.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So let's go ahead and do that. Um, and then let's just go ahead and kind of see what, oh yes, look, it already looks so much better. Like,
Yes.
so we didn't even need to do this.
But it's good that, now we know how to do
Now
it.
you
So
know how though. So
thank you for
that's
sharing it
the
with us.
important part. Because there are times where like you apply a preset and then suddenly like the skin tone of the person looks way like weird,
Yes. Yeah.
especially because,
Yeah.
all of us have different undertones. So you want to make sure that that's, it's not looking crazy. Okay, that looks gorgeous. I love it. I kind of want to see actually if I push it a little bit warmer, what happens. Yeah, that looks really pretty
I
too.
love that. I like the
I
warmer.
know. I like the warmer too. Okay, something like I feel like maybe like 3,300. I feel like that feels good. And maybe
Yeah.
I'll,
That looks great.
no, okay, I like this. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, I'm obsessed. I love it. We went from this to this. That looks so
Beautiful.
nice, you guys.
Beautiful. I
If I
love
zoom in,
this.
like look at the difference. Like it's very like
Even like
subtle, but it's just
look at her hair. It's standing out so much more, the detail in her hair
mhm.
and her like she almost just looks happier. I don't
Oh my
know
gosh, I
how to
know.
describe it, but something about her face, like it lights up more.
I know. And that's something too with like dark haired models too. You can also use that mask tool again to kind of like bring up like
Yeah.
any detail if anything for some reason is getting lost. But honestly, I love the richness and the
Yeah,
contrast there.
it's
So
looking like you can see the highlights in her hair more and it's creating that
exactly.
dimension and that texture, which is
Exactly.
so
It's so
so cute.
pretty.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy those settings and paste them on here.
Oh
Let's
my
hope it looks
gosh.
as good. Ooh, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and push the warmth a little bit more on this one.
Yes. And if anyone is just joining us, this is the Weekday Edit. I'm Ellie and I'm here with Arabella. Arabella is working in Lightroom right now. She is re-editing some
Hmm.
images that we shot for Camelback a few years ago and just kind of making them more in the style that we have now. Um, and showing you guys how to, bring them to life in Lightroom. I feel like it's like we kind of forget sometimes that our style changes because it can happen so
Yeah.
slowly over time. And then
Yeah.
you'll look back at
100%.
old photos and be like, man, that doesn't fit with my style anymore because I've changed. But I think re-editing is a great way to kind of bring old images that you
Hmm.
still really love and make them current with your
Oops.
portfolio now. Um, because
Not that.
yeah, we still want to show these images and,
Totally.
and sometimes just like that, those subtle changes in post-production can help just make them feel more current to what you shoot
Oh,
now.
yeah. Totally. Okay, cool. So I just kind of applied those same settings over to the rest of the images. Looking so much better. Like, how beautiful. I'm like, I
Amazing.
want to see what they look like in the other one. Oh, yeah, look super
They were
cool.
so cool.
They were
Yeah.
so cool. I mean, they are cool, but very like cool toned.
Yes, very cool tones.
But now we've got the warmth. It's kind of like more in line with probably our vibe that I would
Yeah.
say. So that's looking great.
They
I
feel
love it.
richer now. They feel like,
They do feel richer.
yeah, they just have
Yes.
more depth to them.
I know. I love it. Okay, so let's keep it moving. I'm gonna try and zoom through these next ones just because, why not? Um, oh wow, that's already so pretty. Okay, let's bring up that warmth there a little bit and let's bring that back down. I don't want it to be too magenta. And then again, same thing with the lens corrections, fixing that, fixing our fringe. And let's go ahead and apply that episode 1 highlight mod. And look at how beautiful. Like I'm just
Yeah, it
it's
looks so
so
good.
it's stunning. I mean, again, why should I go through the trouble of making presets if someone already does it better?
Yes.
We're here to work efficiently.
Yes. Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Okay, let me bring up some of the darks there and maybe a little bit more and then up the contrast a little bit. There you go. Okay, that looks amazing from that to that.
Wow, it is
It's
such
such a
a
difference.
difference. It's
I know.
crazy.
It's insane. Like beautiful. I mean, just the tones, everything. That's why it's so important that you color correct, you guys, because
Yes.
and that you shoot in raw and manual
Yes.
or just raw. Just make sure you shoot raw. I mean, I'm all about using whatever, whether it's manual or like shutter priority or, things like that.
Yeah.
But definitely raw because it's just, yeah, you can just do so much more. Okay, that looks great. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy those settings, paste them onto this one. Wow, gorgeous. I mean, do I really even have to do much? That's beautiful. Maybe I'll bring down the highlights a little bit there.
Yes, Joshua says I always shoot in raw.
Yes.
Yes. It's the way to
Good job.
go. It's
It
the way
is
to
the way to
go.
go. It is the way to go. Okay, I might push the warmth in this one just like a little bit. That looks better. Maybe in this one too, a little bit. Well, it's actually kind of warm already. I'm just kind of pushing it here a little bit. Okay, great. Now let's see if I can just like paste them onto every single one and then I'll just make all the edits after that. Wow. Okay. Amazing. The exposure is a lot. Let's remove that. There you go. That's much better. Okay. Now I'm kind of going lightning fast here a little bit, but that's okay. And actually, I'm kind of feeling like this one doesn't need to be quite as, there you go. Okay. Now I can just move. So what I did was it had applied the same kind of temperature from the previous one, but I ended up just kind of going as shot, then auto, and now I can bring up the warmth just a little bit from there. It just felt a little too hot from the other one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joshua says I always shoot in raw and then I convert them to Adobe DNG.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And Peter says, I love the Camelback brands.
I
Yes,
know, they're great. They're
us
awesome.
too. They are great to work with.
Hmm.
Very fun.
I know, it's so fun. Okay, this one's a little hot, so let's bring that down.
Especially because we got to eat s'mores. You
Oh
guys,
my gosh, I know.
is it not the best when you get to eat on set? That's my favorite. My favorite is when we have good shoot food.
I know, right? Okay, this looks awesome. Beautiful. Okay, now go ahead and paste those settings. And this one actually might be its own thing. Okay, too dark. This is why sometimes you have to like go in between, you know what I mean?
Well, and
Like
this
just
was
go at
later in the
once.
day, so it was getting darker outside. I remember we shot this at the very
Exactly.
end.
I
So,
know. So definitely have to push those shadows and the blacks there a little bit,
yeah.
just to get some of that detail.
Yeah, Jack says s'mores. Yeah, we did have s'mores. And then they let Arabella and I stay in the Airstream that
I
night.
know. That
And
was super
actually, I just
cool.
remembered that we stayed the night. We weren't planning on staying the night, but they were like, "Hey, like we rented this for the whole night, so if you want to stay here, you can." So remember, we stayed the night, and then we had a
Hmm.
Adobe live stream the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
we had to like get back in time. I don't know if we were doing it remotely or in the studio. I don't remember, but if it was 2020, it was probably remote.
Oh, I
Um,
know.
but I remember like we like rushed back for some stream. I don't know if one of us was hosting or if we were both streaming. I don't remember, but I just remember being like, we got to get back in time
You're
because
like, we
we
gotta.
weren't we weren't planning on it. Like on staying the night. So so
Okay, I'm
fun.
just looking at all of these and I'm realizing too that the defringe got like reset too with the um
With the preset.
So one
Yeah.
thing that you can do is if like there's one where you're like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be really annoying to have to like go through every single one.
Yes.
So my
Yeah.
trick is always doing a develop like settings, copy settings, and then check none, and then go into where the lens correction is, and you can just click all of that and press copy. And now you can select all of the images, and then now you can paste all of that. So
Cool.
then you're good to go. And so then that way you're not missing anything.
Yes.
And now all of them should be adjusted. There we go. Perfect. Okay, great. Back to where we were.
Joshua says, yes, if you shoot lifestyle, you need to have food on set. Yes, I
Yes.
agree. I think all shoots need to have
I mean,
food on set.
honestly. Okay, and then now I'm going to check all but remove the very specific settings here, like transform, crop, healing, mask. Yeah. Okay, perfect. That looks great. Okay, I think we're good. So let's just go ahead and go into Photoshop and do all the fun stuff.
Let's do
So
it.
I don't know why. I mean, I think I cropped the for the final image, I cropped
Yeah.
this entire thing out, but I'm like in the like in one of the images, I know I didn't like even edit this out, but it's like bothering me because it's supposed to be like you're in wilderness and then
Yes, it
there's all
does.
these like lights.
It looks like you're very obviously not out in the woods. You're
I
at
know.
a campsite,
A
which
campsite,
is
yeah.
fine for some images, but for these ones, yeah, it was supposed to be like they're admiring nature.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go ahead and open them in Photoshop. And let's just remove that. And also, like, I'm curious. I kind of want to use generative expand, generative fill. Like, if these images are
Yeah.
just going to go on our website or on social media, like, I'm not too worried about the quality at this point anymore because I'm not delivering them to a client.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm okay with kind of like playing around with maybe, I don't know, like this image feels very heavy, like on the bottom. Like, what if we like moved it down and had generative fill just like gen expand the bottom part of this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
So
see.
then it would kind of like put them in a position where I don't know, maybe we'd like them better. Like see how in this image there's a little bit more space at the bottom,
Yeah.
whereas like here it's very close. So what we could do, so let's say these are going to be like, a 4 by 5 for Instagram. So I can always kind of go this way and like have make sure to change by the way the fill at the top and do I think we can do generative expand, I believe. Or no, yeah, generative expand. Sometimes I forget that I have to change that and then it'll be like, all right, nothing happened. But let's say we just want like a little bit and let's see. Okay, there we go. I think it should be working now.
Amazing.
I know, right? I love it. It's always like
The
the
suspense.
waiting, the suspense. I'm always nervous. Yay! Okay,
Wow.
awesome. Super, super cool. See, that was like so easy. I'm obsessed. I think I like the second one right here because
Yeah,
it
that
feels
looks
like it
so
it
good.
transitions well. Okay, so let me go ahead and just do like another layer. I'm gonna call it clean. And I'm gonna go in here and let's see. Let's go ahead and remove any like labels that we need to. So I'm gonna use my trusty remove tool. It's like the best. And actually you can't even really see them here. So I'm
No,
okay
those
with
look
that.
so
Those look
small.
good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove these like lights because they're not really supposed to be here.
They're not matching the vibe.
They're not matching the vibe. So let's go ahead and remove them. Super easy. And yeah, honestly, sometimes like with lifestyle stuff, it really is just about like removing like really tiny stuff. But honestly, like I feel like for us, like we really like things that look natural too. Like we don't want to
Yeah.
like over edit lifestyle stuff too
Yeah.
much.
You want it to look real life, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Wow, that was good. Awesome. So there you go. I mean, I don't really think that there's anything else that's kind of distracting to me other than that those lights. Oh, maybe this, whatever this thing is.
Might be another little light or something. I don't
I
know.
don't know, but it's at the bottom though. Oh, I guess
Yeah, but
yeah,
there
maybe
can be
like
lights in the
yeah, like
ground,
the little
a little
pathway.
solar light or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wait, what is this? A whole chain?
Oh my
No.
gosh.
That's creepy.
Surprises.
Surprise, surprise. Okay, this one's like an interesting one. I wonder what the remove tool is gonna do because it's like kind of at the very edge of
I
like
know.
the tree, so I'm scared.
We'll see how it can handle.
I know. Okay, hopefully it knows what to do. And if so, then good on you, Photoshop. Okay, not terrible.
It's
It's
pretty. Yeah.
good.
Pretty
I mean,
good.
if I'm zooming out, like that's pretty good.
You're not gonna know.
I'm not, you're not gonna know. They're gonna know.
No one's
I'm
gonna
just
know.
kidding.
How could they know?
How could they know? Okay, that's pretty good. I'm just gonna like fix this little part right here and then maybe like right here as well. Oops. There we go. Just because it like maybe a little bit more seamless there.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. We don't want any chains there.
No.
No,
No.
thank you. Okay, cool. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks great. And then we can always just save it. And I know that it'll like kind of come back into Lightroom after that.
Hmm.
Um, and we can always like apply some more effects, like a little bit more grain and kind of like all that. Or we can do that here too. Like I have the same exact presets that I have in Lightroom show up on Camera Raw in the Camera Raw panel in Photoshop. And so I could also add them in here as well. But I'm just gonna do the work in Lightroom because why not? And I have the pleasure of like, you know, copying the grain settings and pasting them to the rest of the images. So great, that looks good. Oh, the other thing too is we like kind of like I don't know, we've gotten more like textury over the years, so we could
Yeah.
always
More
like
gritty.
more gritty. Maybe we can do our like high pass sharpen look with
Yes.
these
Let's
images
do it.
too. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do select my entire image with Command A, and then do a copy merge. So that's like a Command Shift C and then Command V. Otherwise, Command or Control. That's for PC. But
Yeah.
basically, copy merge. Now everything's all on its own layer. Since with the generative expand, I need to make sure that everything's together. And let's call this sharpen. And of course, we do like our awesome high pass, um, setting here. So essentially, what I'm doing is going to filter, um, filter, other, high pass, and it looks crazy, but we've got like a radius of 1.8. That feels good. Press OK. And now we change our blending mode. And we can do either soft light or linear light. Like look at how like crispy that looks.
Yes, I love it.
I love it. Sometimes it's like a little too much. So I'm gonna bring it down maybe to like a 65 or 70%.
Hmm.
But that just like adds like a little extra, something, which we love.
Yeah,
So that
looks
has
so
like
good.
more of that like, I don't know. I feel like it's a texture thing for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that and then we're good to go.
And we have about 10 minutes left, which is
Perfect.
crazy.
I
So
know. How did that happen?
if you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And I also wanted to let you guys know that if you aren't aware, Arabella released a retouching
That's
course.
right. Oh my gosh, I didn't even mention that in the last episode. Whoops.
Yes. So it's over 8 hours of video content of
It's a lot.
Arabella just walking you through Lightroom and Photoshop, specifically for product photography. So that is on our website. It is saturdayschool.co/courses is how you can access that. And I just made a little discount code for you guys for making
Yay!
it
Oh
to
my
the end of
gosh.
our stream. So if you use the code weekday in caps, you can get 15% off that
Such a good
course.
idea. Oh my
It's called
gosh.
Retouching for Product Photography. So, and that will apply to, there's two different pricing options, one where you pay it once and one where you pay over 3 months, and it will apply to both options.
That's
So,
amazing. Thank you,
yes,
Ellie. That's
you're,
awesome.
well, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for making the course. And you can work through it at your own pace. You get unlimited access to it. So,
I love that.
yeah, I
Okay,
wanted to give you
cool.
guys a little
Such a
treat
good
for hanging out
treat.
with us today.
That's awesome. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely go check it out. And while you were talking, I literally just selected the entire lights and just had genfill like figure it out.
Amazing.
So, also it's bothering me so much that this tree is like looking so
Yeah,
like
it looks
leaning.
so crooked. I
Like I wonder
mean,
if I just like remove it
let's
with genfill.
see. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we want. I don't know. I guess I could also do it like a straight line.
I was wondering if, because I like the tree, I like kind of having the two trees on the edges. So I
Like,
wonder
yeah.
if you could just straighten it out
Yeah,
more.
maybe. Oh, wow. That looks so good too. Wow.
I mean, that does look good
That
too.
does look good. Okay, let me try what you mentioned though, because I am curious. Like how, I wonder, because it all depends on how you select too, Like you can just,
Yeah.
like, maybe this is how I do it, right? I can just select what I want it to like fill
Yeah.
into, or I need
Yeah.
to grab the entire, or I don't know, I
Or
guess,
could you cut it out and straighten it and then gen fill the edge?
and
Does
Jen,
that make
oh,
sense?
yes. Yeah, good idea. I was just gonna say, like, maybe I can like, adjust it and
Yeah.
have it fill the
I
rest.
wonder
Yeah.
if that would be the easiest way to just
Because
tell it what you want.
Yeah, because I've done that before actually, where like it was like that image, the Ashland image with the flowers, and
Yes.
like, that part of the stem didn't exist because it was being held by hand. So I was
Yeah.
like, Jen, fill that in, and it like did it perfectly. Well, let's try this. Let's see if it
Okay,
like
let's see what it
knows
does.
what we want it to do by just doing that. Hopefully, we'll see. This will be the real test. But I like your idea better, Ellie. Oh, that's actually not
I mean,
terrible.
that's
Wow.
that's pretty good. Did it kind of make it into two trees?
Yeah, kind of
And it
actually. Like
doesn't,
it,
because see how part of it goes down into the bush and then some of it is in
yeah,
front of the bush?
that's super cool. Okay, I'm
That's
curious. I'm
interesting.
gonna generate one more time because I'm just
Okay.
curious. The other thing too is we are gonna crop this image too, so I guess there's that part.
That's true. That's true.
You know, um, hey, I mean, that's pretty good, honestly. That's not bad. Whoa, do you see this one? This one has like
Yeah.
the trees in front of
I
it.
know. That is kind of
That
crazy.
is so crazy. Okay, I like this one.
Yeah, I like
I
that
kind of like that
too.
one. Yeah. I kind of like it's like fun. Okay, let's crop it and see what we need to do. Yeah, I kind of like it because look how pretty
I
the
like
like
it because I
green.
feel like when you remove it, it just kind of takes away the framing a little bit.
Exactly. Okay. So I feel like something like that. That looks pretty. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Gorgeous.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls edit photos in Photoshop. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls use generative fill.
Yes. Our BFF.
This is our new hashtag.
Our BFF Jen.
Our BFF Jen. I love that. Oh
The
my God, I'm
third
so
the
sorry.
third
My laugh is
partner
so
in
loud.
our business.
Yes. She's working hard.
She's
She's working late.
she's our newest intern, but she's putting in the work.
She is putting in that work. We love it. Okay, great. So let's move on. Let's save that. Let's do one of the other images because we just have like 5 minutes, I guess. Like that was
I
so fast.
know, I know.
How? Okay, which one should I do though? Because there's so
Do
many.
one of the ones in the tent.
Ooh, in the
Or
tent.
or a s'mores one.
Ooh,
Do
the
a different.
s'mores. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Ugh. But like, what even is there to edit? Like, some of these are so
I
pretty.
know, I know.
You know what? Actually, what would be really fun is if we do like this image, but let's make it oh, there's our edited image. Let's
Gorgeous.
make this a vertical because a lot of our
Yeah,
images
let's do
work
it.
better for vertical stuff, so like Pinterest,
Yeah,
Instagram. But I mean, when you're doing lifestyle, you can't like sometimes like the wide is nice too.
yeah.
You know, especially it works well for banners, it works well for
I think they needed a lot of
That's right. They did need a
more
lot more.
horizontal images. I forget why, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's go ahead and grab this image and then let's make it into a vertical and let uh genfill do the thing.
let's do it.
Okay, and the other thing is too that it kind of feels a little slanted as well. So maybe what I'll
Hmm.
do is here. I'm kind of scared because I don't know what it's gonna do.
I think this is a great test of Jen's capabilities.
Honestly. Honestly. Okay, I feel like that feels pretty good. And then let me just adjust the okay. Okay.
Yeah,
We're going for it.
looks great.
I'm scared. But then how cool. Like now we have like a whole new image, that didn't exist.
Yes,
So
yes, absolutely.
praying that this comes out.
Especially you're right for Pinterest and Instagram, these kinds of aspect ratios usually perform
They
better. So,
perform better. They just do. Also, this is totally distract.
wow.
Wow.
Okay, it did a great job. The only thing that's weird is the table, but I feel like you could fix that just by
Oh,
generating
yeah.
just that area again. Because look at the
Oh my
fire
God.
pit
Wait,
is
look at
so good. That actually is really good.
mind blown.
Wow.
I mean, just mic drop.
Amazing. Amazing.
I mean, just wow. Although, what is going on here?
I
That's
don't
what I know.
I don't know about that, but oh no.
No. Maybe what I need to do is just genfill that and put shoe
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
genfill this. Okay.
Is it her feet that are weird?
It's her feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just put kid boot, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll remove this because I think this was something of hers.
I think it might be her
It was
leg.
her
Yeah.
leg. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I could fix that with something else. I could always do I'll do that after. Okay. So let's remove this. We'll do a little gen fill remove. And then I'll do a kid boot there. At least it has kind of like the starting point of it. So I feel like
Yeah.
maybe it'll be easy. But wow, you guys. I mean, also like happy 1 year anniversary to freaking Adobe
To
Firefly. Like,
Firefly.
oh
I
my
can't believe it's
gosh.
been a year.
I
I
can't
feel like
either.
that just happened. That's
I know.
crazy.
Wait,
That's
that's too
crazy.
big for a kid boot. I know it's insane. Okay. Let me zoom in here. What am I doing struggling? Okay. So if I just kind of go around here, that feels like a good.
Yeah, you have 2 minutes, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay, let's
know, not
see.
to put pressure on you, but
Oof. Okay. Hopefully this works and we're done. I guess I should have gone a little over because maybe like there's like part. Oh, oh,
oh,
that's
it's a
kind of
baby.
cute. But
It's
maybe
a
that's
baby.
too tiny.
Yeah.
Like, are her shoes that tiny? I can't
No,
remember.
I think her feet are bigger than that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back here a little bit. Okay. Let me just put boot. Maybe it'll like
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
little bit better. This is just try things out in Gen Phil corner.
Okay, it's getting
Yeah.
better. That
That
one's
one's
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
It's just,
Yeah.
is the front, what's on the front of it? Like
I
the
don't
on the
know.
toe.
That one's not bad. I don't know what that is.
That's the best one. There's just
That's
that
the best
one
one as
weird,
far as like
there's a
how the
weird
foot is
spot.
like placed.
Yes. Yeah. And the
But
size of it too, I think.
yeah, yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then honestly, like this one little thing is like annoying me.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty good for like being able to now change it into a vertical.
Yeah. That's
Like
awesome.
this is awesome. Especially because yeah, again, like most of our stuff converts better. Like, it just like performs better when it's vertical.
Yeah.
Especially now that we've like done more. Wow. Great. Love it. Easy.
Amazing.
And now we can save that. I can fix that later, but now we've got what went from a horizontal image to now like a vertical image.
That's so awesome.
I know. This is so good. Like,
So
wow.
fun. Thank you
Amazing.
guys so much for joining us today. We had so much fun re-editing these images for you. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have another weekday edit episode. So make sure that you subscribe to Adobe Live so that you can watch that stream and all the other amazing content they have. There's so much great content
Yes.
every single day. So make sure that you are subscribed and tuning in, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks.
Cool.
Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Bye.